Hello, and welcome to the Socially Speaking with Dominique. We did video. I got a special guest all the way from Houston, Texas. Do you want to be Marco or Mark?
It don't
Or I could
matter.
call you your nickname.
Don't do that. I would hate to take you off the airways. Um,
You gonna flag me? Damn, you gonna flag me already? I'm gonna call you Mark, Marco, whatever you want to be called, we're gonna call it. But I do have a special guest, Mark Jones, hailing from South Central LA, USC graduate in this.
that's intro. I like that. Well, I'm glad to be here. Hello, hello. I've been listening. I think I've heard every episode so far. Just heard the last one yesterday. So I am honored to be the first. I think, am I the first guest?
Yes, I've never
Yeah,
done
first
this
guest
before.
and first video.
If you count sometimes me talking to myself and pretending someone's there, then maybe not. But but technically, yes. First video, like, and we have what's his name? We have to thank who for setting
Freddie.
us up to be great. Who?
Freddie.
We have to thank Freddie for setting us up to be great. Without his expertise and his patience, we would not be able to do this. We've had to try different things thus far. I admire every single podcaster out here that does videos like this because without him, I don't think we would have FaceTimed that shit and would have went live on Instagram just to get this done. But I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to be my first guest. It's 2024 and I was thinking about adding guests, but I wasn't sure because it's just like I like talking about what I'm going through, my stories. But I had a thought. I'm like, this is somebody I talk to. We talk a lot, and when we talk, it don't be for like 10 minutes. It be 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. And I figure since we already have podcast worthy conversations, we might as well do it on the podcast. So it's 2024. Like, how are you feeling? How are you doing? How's life?
Ooh. Um, Life is good. Let me make sure I say that because very, very grateful to be here. Not everybody made it to this year. Uh, had some changes since the year started. Um, One of the things I'm not drinking for this month, and I love me a drink. Even doing this sober, I'm like, okay. But I
We
wanted.
might get into it then, huh? You might got some shit to say.
I
Sober.
might. I might. But yeah, I decided to do this toward the end of last year, and I just said I wanted a month to just, stop drinking for a minute, see how it affects my body. So it's mostly from like a wellness standpoint, trying to drop some weight. Everything bigger in Texas, and I was included. So I'm trying to
You was not big.
see. For me, when I gain weight, it shows in my face. So like right now, I
Oh.
feel a little slimmer in my
Mhm.
face because it's literally three places: face, and then I get the little dad bod stomach,
Mhm.
and then other areas.
I never noticed that.
hmm So yeah, I wanted to drop a little bit of weight, just see how
Good.
I felt, and then have I? I don't think I've said this on Instagram or anything because that's where we follow each other. But if you follow me, I was in a most likely I was in a relationship that ended on the first of this year, and so the whole not drinking thing going hand in
Mhm.
hand with that, I would say has been a good thing because I've been able to kind of have some clarity
Mhm.
on just through the situation. Because the last thing I want to do is have a drunk night and I'm sitting up texting, calling. So I've been able to just
I've
kind of
been there.
get through the situation
Mhm.
as clear minded as possible. So, yeah, my year has started off differently. I don't think I've ever had a relationship end on January 1st, but new year, new me.
So without the drinking, do you think that really plays a part in the way you make decisions or the way you process things?
Um, Not necessarily. I think for me, I would say the way my body processes liquor is whatever I'm feeling, it'll probably be like times five. So if I'm out
Oh,
having a good time, like it's a good time. But if I get mad, if I get sad, then I feel that stronger than I normally probably would. And and then the fun part of it that, sometimes be a little embarrassing, that the mouth just gets a little slicker. Like
oh, and
you
that
already know
motherfucker's already slick.
exactly. Like just regular, no filter. But when I'm drinking, it's just like the part of my brain that says, don't say that, that part is just gone. So, it's been good to be as clear minded as possible in the current state of my life, basically.
So, with you having a clear mind, and seeing things differently, your perception, I'm assuming, is different. Your understanding of how things transpired is different. Do you think that was the best decision for you to make for yourself for 2024?
Yes. So that wasn't anything that was planned. I think that's the
Mm,
part that I'm still kind of reconciling with because I think you can make the right decision, but because a person is a part of your life for X amount of time, you grieve the loss of the relationship. So for me, I didn't plan for that to happen. It's just that certain conversations went in a certain direction, and I felt like for me the best decision was for that relationship to end. And I'm not gonna get on there and make it seem like, oh, I just dumped them or anything like that. It was more of a like I initiated the conversation, but it was a
mm-hmm.
mutual kind of understanding that that probably was for the best. So one thing I was working on last year is being a know-it-all. So
Mm,
I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't sit up and like second guess or like think about the decision and make it seem like I just knew that that was the right decision. But I will
right.
say, based on the conversation we had, I did feel like at the time that's what's best for me. So as of right now, there's no plans for that to change. So yeah, but we are in like a nice, friendly, copacetic kind of space because it was amicable. It was no yelling, screaming, arguing, nor was
Okay.
there some kind of
So I thought we was
crazy
gonna have to
event.
come out there.
No, no, no. This one ended smoothly. I can't speak for the past ones, but this one was okay. So
Okay,
yeah.
so you kind of talk about how the 2024 is going thus far, and I can't even say you left that situation in 2023 because it happened on 2024. But is there like one thing in particular you feel like I'm closing the book on that? I'm not going to do that no more. It's one thing you're leaving in 2023 that you left in 2023 that you feel like by doing that you can kind of get to your next level or you can propel yourself to where you want to be.
Um, I probably would say I would probably want to leave not trusting myself in 2023 because I feel like I have a really good gut, really good intuition. And my problem is I don't be knowing the borderline between intuition and paranoia. So
Oh.
sometimes I will think I'm being paranoid and it'll make me second guess what I naturally feel. And that doesn't even just go for like relationships, that goes for like right now I'm apartment hunting, but like I'm
Mm-hmm.
second guessing certain things when like my intuition's like, you're fine, you can do this, you're good, that kind of thing. So I would really want to leave that in 2023 because what I tell myself to talk myself down is, look how far you've gotten,
Right.
off your own merit. So I need to just basically just trust the instincts that got me here.
So you don't think being paranoid and having really good instincts can live in the same spot?
I
Because
think, sorry.
because I'm thinking when you're talking, I'm like, what if your instincts is causing that paranoia?
So this is a theory I got. I feel like your instincts will give you a feeling, and then the paranoia typically has almost like an action associated to it.
Mm.
So I'll say, if I'm speaking just in relationship terms, my intuition is saying something is off, this person feels disconnected or something like that. Then the paranoia will jump in and say, "Oh, you get cheated on." But I think if you remove the action part, the paranoia part, and just follow the
Okay.
intuition, you'll probably find what the real issue probably is. Because that did kind of play out in my relationship. I'm like, something feels a little off. And then my
Right.
mind wants to jump to certain places based off of past experiences just to kind of protect myself. But I think being able to strip away, I guess you could say, like accusation or blamey kind of thinking, you can just
Hmm.
have certain conversations.
So for me being like related to you, being your cousin and everything, you'll be 30 this year, right?
Yes.
To see 29, almost 30-year-old Mark from 21, 22-year-old Mark, you've made some, I don't even want to say drastic because I don't want to make it seem like you were fucked up, but you've made some really intense changes and like understanding yourself better and working through different things and not being that slick with the tongue and doing those different things. And I just want to commend you for that. I love that about you, how you always try to figure out ways to improve yourself.
Thank you.
And I think that's why you're able to understand that if I stop drinking, I can have a clearer thought process. Or, and it's not to say you're an alcoholic. Let's repeat, he's not an alcoholic.
Not at
But if you go over Terry House, it's over. But
all.
and I just love that about you. And I think for me, like, and I'm gonna just briefly talk about like we've been good. Like we've had our time where we're kind of butted heads, and I think for me, I had to figure out how to best love the people around me as they're growing up. It's like a
Mhm.
real challenging thing to see someone grow up and go through different phases in their own life, and you're still comparing them to that person that you like them the best to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So for us, I feel like the times that we did bump heads or the times that we had our disagreements, I don't think, for me, I don't think I was understanding the person you were at that moment. I was thinking back like, damn, this is my little cousin. Like, he's supposed to rock with me. He's supposed, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now, like, as I get older, I realize you literally have to love and you have to support and you have to understand people for what they are now, not what they used to be to you. And I think I never saw you as a grown ass man for some reason. I'm just really seeing my brother as that. Like, y'all always seem like my babies.
Right.
So when shit get a little crazy, it's like, who the do they think they are? And you got to remember, like, damn, they're adults and they're grown. And I know I asked you about that, what you're leaving in 2023. And I think for me, what I left in 2023 is not having the ability to love people for where they're at and understand them for where they're at. I think
That's good.
sometimes, um, and I think loyalty plays a part in that as well, where you feel like, okay, I'm loyal to this person, but you're not growing the relationship. You're not understanding them. You're not living with what they're living with. You're not asking questions. You're not immersing yourself in what they have going on. And I feel like that's where the disconnect comes sometimes with people, where someone's growing and you're not seeing them as growing. You're just, oh, they're,
Mhm.
they're just there, and it's like, no, they're fucking growing too. They're going through things, they're figuring things out. And I think for me, I need to work on loving people where they're at and what they are to me in this particular moment. And I just think sometimes everything just gets so muddled together and you be like, they supposed to rock with me, but they're not.
Yeah.
At this moment. So that's like one thing I want to leave. And I left a few people in 2023. And I don't feel bad about leaving people where they're at. And I used to hang on to relationships of how they used to be, and that hindered my relationship with them. Like for instance, me and your sister,
Mm.
you already know how I feel about her. Like that, she's always been so important to me, so invaluable to me. And I just felt like I should have grown up with her growing up, if that makes sense. It's like she's on a different level, she's doing different things. You have to see her a little bit differently. You have to maybe
Mm.
treat her a little bit differently. You have to understand where she's coming from a little bit differently. And I feel like as relationships blossom and they get better, you learn that. And I used to
Yeah.
always say, like, you can't get that old relationship back. And Londa with her, she gets on my nerves. But she was like, but you can build a better one. And that never even dawned on me. I used to use the analogy if a vase breaks,
Yeah.
there's no way in hell it can go back to what it used to be, but it
Right.
could be better. And I feel
Very
like my
true.
relationship with you is so much better because I see you as a grown man. I see you doing your thing. I see you like making the steps to get to the next level, and I appreciate that because it inspires me. Like my relationship, like I said, with your sister, with Crystal, with all these different people, it's grown and it's gotten better because I was able to sit back and say, you play a key part in the way these situations happen too. You're not the victim. So for me, I had to learn that in all of 2023, to be honest with you. That's one of the reasons why I started the podcast, because I'm like, I've learned so much and I kind of want to talk about it, but I don't know how to really, talk about it.
Yeah.
So that was like a sick ass rant I just went on. But
No, but I love the stuff you talk about because I feel like it's so basically never change. Like as far as how you run this, because it's so unfiltered, it's so vulnerable at times, but most of all, it's real. And you talk about stuff in ways that you don't basically try to put yourself on a pedestal. Like some people will hop on a podcast and they'll run through things and they'll run through it in a way that they're always right. They're always the victim. They're always, it's always something happened to them. And when I hear you talk about certain things, you talk about things from a perspective that people can relate to and things from a perspective of somebody that's made mistakes before or made decisions that they want to see themselves grow from. So yeah, I love this podcast. Before your podcast, I didn't listen to any. So I think you were
oh,
my first.
been a lot of people's first. But no, I appreciate that. I feel like if I was gonna do it, I wasn't gonna worry about views. I wasn't gonna worry about listens. I wasn't gonna worry about anything monetary. I was just gonna go talk. And it's crazy because people be like, "Do you have a script? Do you?" And I'm like, I may jot down some notes, but when I record, I'm just talking, and it just comes out. So I know it would help somebody, but most importantly, when I listen to me talk, it helps me because it's like you lived it, you've been through it, but this is you on the other side of it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So that's been the exciting part for me. It's like you made it through all of this, you're talking about it, and you're still going. So that's why I love doing it, and I'm looking forward to doing it more with people I love and care about. And at this, I don't know if I could do this podcast 5 years ago though, because I don't. I think I needed a little bit more therapy, a little bit more understanding. I don't think I could be Dominique doing this podcast 5 years ago like I can now, and that's just. I got a good support system. That's all I'm gonna say. It's
you
just
do.
really really that simple. At the top, you talked about like, even though I think you look fine, you look. I'm always. I don't give a fuck if you was on my 600 pound life.
Oh my
I'm still gonna
God.
say it. That fool look good, don't he? Look at that.
Thank you.
Look at that hairline. Look at those dimples. Like, I'm gonna come up with something. But you said you started running,
Mhm.
working out. How's that going?
That has been good. So I think the realization I came to is I don't really like the gym. Um, And I thought I would because I played basketball, I played baseball growing up. So for me, athletics or anything active has always had a goal attached to it. Like you getting the ball in the hoop, you hitting the ball, you catching the ball. And I thought the gym would kind of give me that same sensation, but I don't get that. I don't think I like the structure of the gym. So
Hmm.
with that in mind, I thought I would always hate running because when you run, you're not really running to do anything. You're just running.
Hmm.
But I think what I ended up learning is that it clears my mind. And like when I leave a run, my energy is completely different. Like I think the best way I can put it is I knew that I wanted to get back active because I'm used to being active. And that's the thing about like talking about like the weight stuff is you've known me all my life. So I grew up super skinny. So
Hmm.
putting on weight in the last couple of years, especially with the pandemic, putting on weight in that time, that was alarming for me, honestly. And I wasn't, I would say last year when I put on some more weight, I wasn't too mad at it because I was in a good place. So
Hmm.
it wasn't like unhealthy or bad weight or anything like that. I was in a relationship, you go on dates, you eat and all of that. So I wasn't mad at the weight. I just knew that I wanted to drop it. So
Hmm.
I started back running and it does a lot for me. So I can leave a run, I get home, I'm in a good mood, I'm ready to try to eat some healthy, cook, the energy, the endorphins, all of that is there. So I've been enjoying the run, and I know you've been training for the marathon. So I've been peeping your stories and the runs and the tips, the app, all of that. So you know, literally and figuratively, you be leading the way. So
And you know what's like crazy about the running is like I don't think people understand how clear your mind is when you're running. Like it's like you literally, they tell you to keep your head on the swivel when you're running or when you're out. There's so many things happening around you, but you don't really hear it, you don't
yeah,
see it, you don't feel it in that moment. And that's why, like, I thought training for the marathon would be hard, and it is, don't get me wrong. But to be able to have that for me has been like made the world a difference because like I had struggles with personal relationships and business, but running is something that I can control and I win every time I
yeah,
finish a run. So for me, it'd be hard. It'd be like, I don't want to go. I don't want to run. And when I start running, it's like a runner's high. I actually believe
yeah.
that after like the 10 or 12 minute point, you like, oh shit. And look at me. And don't let people see me and they wave and they honking, go girl, and people flirt. People flirt while you're running. Have you had that yet?
I have not had that.
They have been throwing it at me, Mark. With with no lashes, no Fenty, no nothing. Like literally you turn in their cars.
Hmm.
Like on some kidnap type shit. But it's like it's so crazy you said like you feel different. Like when I ran yesterday, I did the 7 miles. But I didn't even feel tired. Like my body felt great. And I think once you get to the point where your body feels amazing and you feel amazing, it's like, oh shit, I can do that. One thing, you are probably gonna gain weight on the scale.
Hmm.
I don't know why people say you lose weight when running. I don't know if you lose weight. I think your body tones and the amount of miles, because I'm up to like 20 or 25 miles a week now. So
Yeah.
I'm eating a lot of shit. And what they don't tell you is like we were just talking, I'm a salty sweater. That sounds so weird, but so when I sweat, I'm losing a lot of sodium when I'm
Yeah.
running. So I have to have probably more sodium than I would like just for me to keep my energy up and keep my flow up. And you don't realize that when they just say go run, but they don't tell you got to stretch, you got to warm up, you
Oh,
got to Epsom
yes.
salt. If you wear the wrong shorts, you chafe. Like it's
Yeah.
just I got blisters on my foot, and it's like nobody said that. Y'all just said I'd get this nice ass body with this flat stomach and a medal, and now I got 8 blisters. Shit.
Yeah,
So it's like
especially the stretching.
a lot. So when you running, what kind of music you like listening to though? I know Nicki Minaj is sprinkled in there, but are you an
Um,
R&B runner or hip hop rap runner?
I need high energy for the most part. So when since I started this at the end of last month, that's when Nicki dropped Pink Friday too.
Oh,
So that's mostly
that's all he
been,
got in his shit.
yeah, that's been mostly what I listen to. So I'll just pick all of the high tempo songs on the album, and that's what I'm running to. But it's good. I try to strategize. Like if I'm stretching, I'll do like some R&B. I'll do some slow stuff just so I can, stretch, get a vibe. And then as I run, the my mind tells me, okay, I know that I run a mile in this amount of time. And about this time is where I'll probably get a little tired. So let's try to put a certain song at this point so that if I get a little tired, this song will get me going. So before the album dropped, I would do Crazy by Doechii. I will put
Who?
that somewhere in the middle. So when I get tired, you never heard of Doechii?
Dochi who? Gabbana?
She's a rapper.
Come on, Mark. You and Kiana know I don't know
I'm
music like this.
I'm trying to think of what you would know by her.
The closest D I know is Doja.
No, not Doja, Doechii. Have you ever heard that song? What it is, yeah. What? Not the old one.
What's the?
Not that one.
Yeah,
She sampled
that's
it.
her.
Yeah.
I do
Yes.
know her. Then I just
Yeah.
heard her.
Yeah. She good. So she got a song called Crazy. That was like I think the first mainstream song people have heard from her, and that song, it'll get you, it'll get you one to go. So yeah.
That's so funny. Like I have to stretch to gospel music.
Okay.
So when I'm stretching, I'm listening to gospel. My first mile, if I have a long run, like anything over 7 or 8 miles, my
Mhm.
first 2 to 3 miles is nothing but gospel.
Try to imagine that. So I guess,
It,
is it the work, the lyrics? Is it the music? What gets you? I guess what gets you keeps you going.
I think the gospel music calms my nerves.
Okay.
And I think it puts me in a place where I'm not worried about anything outside. Because,
Mhm.
running in the streets of LA ain't the safest. Especially when you got some thighs and ass like I got. But it's not the safest. So I feel like when I'm listening to that, I feel like I'm guarded. I feel like I'm
Mhm.
protected. I'm favored. So there's grace and mercy around me. I don't know. It's a
Yeah.
psychological thing, but I can feel myself needing a little boost. So then I switch to my like workout mix. But I'm
Mhm.
more of a R&B runner. Like I'm telling you, that snooze shit, I'm mad. I find out she hiding bodies and shit in her stuff. Because that song, Mark, Snooze, After the Pain by Betty Wright,
Mhm.
This Will Be by Natalie Cole,
Okay.
Sweet Thing, Mary J. Blige,
Okay.
and Avant, Now You Got Someone. When those five, I'm
Mhm.
turned.
I mean,
I'm
some of those a little
turned.
high tempo.
I am like so turned. I don't know. It just like, and when you know the word, oh, and oh my mama, because I'm like, oh
Okay.
my mama.
Right.
What I just added was that left, right. Let me see you do it.
Oh, I
Soap
think you might
City.
got me. I don't know that one.
You don't know Soap City?
Mm-mm. I know the water park.
You not from LA then? That's what? Come on, Mark. You gotta
Is that
know
old
Soap
or new?
City. Left, right. Let me see you do it. Don't run from this fight.
Oh no, this not clicking. Is that old or new?
Oh, that's new. It's the boy who raps it. He goes to King Drew.
Well, I've been gone for some years, so I don't
Bring
have
your ass back.
the
I'm
LA
all
Music
talking
Connect
like
no
I'm on
more.
the. I'm on the latest music. But that song, my brother music, when his
Hmm.
cut the check come on, motherfucker, I'm running through life.
You ready to cut the check?
Cut the check. But so it's like so weird how people listen to different music
Yeah.
when they're running. So do you see yourself running like a 5K, 10K, half marathon, marathon, triathlon?
Well, anything that ends with on, that ain't
Oh,
happening. I ain't even about to lie.
so so maybe you know, marathon,
No.
half
Triathlon?
marathon,
No. No. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know distance wise. What is a 5K?
5K is 3.1 miles.
I could do that.
10K is 6.2.
I could see myself working to that. The hardest part about me with running is I can get bored pretty quickly. So like I can do a mile straight, well not straight as in not stopping, but a mile straight without being bored. Like I can be in tune with the music
Right, right,
and kind of block out the world. But once I usually get past that mile, I'm kind of looking for some type of stimulant in some kind of way, whether it's I guess maybe I need to change my music at that point. Like I told you yesterday, I was running and I did 2 miles. And the first mile, I did music. And then the second mile, I listened to the last episode of your podcast. And that kind of kept me
mm,
going. So yeah, I'd be needing something to kind of change it up. So like, that's
right,
why I don't like the treadmill because
right,
I look down and I'm just looking at myself walking or running. I'm like,
right.
what am I
Like
doing?
what a loser. Take your ass home. But
So
I
yeah, that.
recommend like running on the streets, like I told you, with the stoplights, with
Mhm.
traffic, the bike lane. And let me tell you, these motherfuckers do not respect people in that bike lane.
Oh, not at all.
I run in the bike lane sometimes, and I'm about to be a tire because they will run over your ass in the bike
Are
lane.
they at least protected
What?
like the bike lanes?
No, no, it's just markings on the floor.
You know,
Mark,
we're
telling you,
stepping into my field. That's why I had to ask.
Mark, I need you to come back because shit is a little toxic out here on these streets. But
That
no,
that's
I
a problem.
recommend changing your routes too. I think sometimes
Yeah.
when you run in certain places all the time, you get
Hmm.
bored. Also, maybe look into a run club in your area.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
I'm
moving
pretty sure some
soon.
people out there running.
My boss actually was inviting me to come like run and work out with him. He just did a half marathon. I'm like, hold on, I'm gonna need to build up before I even try to step foot near you. But I do
I'm telling
want to
you, all
switch it
you have to
up.
do is continue doing what you're doing. Honestly, it's
Yeah.
because I started off at a mile, but I've been running, I've been training since October. So I
Hmm.
can run these miles and my body feels good. And the shoes too. That running shit is expensive.
It is.
You might have to get your little sugar daddy to be a runner because this shit is sick out here.
If I
Shoes
get
are
a
two
sugar,
hundred dollars. Like shoes are crazy. I have to
let me
start
tell
running with an
you,
ankle brace.
let me just tell you, I get a sugar daddy. Running shoes is the least of my worries. I got other shit to do. I might stop running if I get one of them. Go
Motherfucker
get
put
me a.
100 pounds on for that sugar daddy.
Oh, I go get me what everybody else getting these tummy tucks and BBLs. Get a little fat snatched.
He getting that fat transfer, like Nikki said.
Uh, yeah, but no, running shoes are expensive because I paid over 100 for mine. But I know you was telling me it's good to kind of have more than one pair. So I'm gonna have to invest in some more shoes because I've been,
You better
doing it
hit the
consistently.
Nike outlet.
They some Nikes too. So
Yeah,
I'll look.
like get outlet shoes, like the shoes I just got, and I love them.
Mhm.
Wanio had got me some shoes for Christmas, some running shoes, but when he got a wrong size, he got me a Korean small, whatever the fuck the size was.
What does it mean?
It was tiny. Oh, I hope I don't get canceled. But so I took them back to Dick's, but they didn't have my size.
Mhm.
So I found some shoes that I was like, I did some research and I was like, maybe I can get those. But before I did, I called Kiana and Juan and I'm like, would it be okay if I take y'all shoes back and get me something, that they got here that'll work too? And he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, of course, why not? So I got them, and I love them. There's some Nike Infinity React X Run 4, and they just like it got Flyknit at the top, so it just like conforms to my foot. I love running in those shoes, but they was on sale, and then they gave me like an extra $20 off, so I only had to pay like an extra $8 or something from what Wanio then bought me.
Mhm.
But they was
Well,
on
look,
sale. I got a hydration backpack that Kiana Mama bought me for Christmas. Um, then I got one for my waist. But running is good. If you started dating someone, because I was just talking to Wanio about this. If you're dating, let's just say you're running a lot, would you
mhm.
want your person you're dating to run with you?
Well, let me start this off with saying that is off the table until calendar year 2025.
That is like, come on, that's like 11 months.
I know,
What if you met the
but
love of your life next week?
they gonna have to wait. I need a little time. I need a little
Time for
time.
what? You're healing?
I don't even feel like healing is the word. I think just being by myself for a minute. But we can circle back on this to answer your question. I don't think I'd want them to be a runner, but I think you want whoever you're with to have some kind of interest in the things you do. So I don't necessarily need you to be out in the streets running with me every day, but every once in a while, if you want to go for a run, I'll slow it down, match your speed. We can just go do that. I
Right.
would like
And
that.
yeah, because we were watching. Have you ever seen that show, Ready to Love?
No, I
We was
never heard of it.
watching Ready to Love, and so it's this guy. He's a personal trainer, and he's into this lady that she don't work out. She don't work out. She
Mm,
don't get active. She's not outside. And I was just telling Juan, like, how do you think that's going to work? He's like, well, they don't have to work out together. Like, and I'm just saying, like, for me, if I'm with someone, if you're doing something, I want to try to do that shit too. I
yeah,
don't know if it's like quality time you're spending with
I
that
think
person,
yeah,
but I don't want my nigga at the gym and I'm not there. Now I don't like the gym. We can go running, we can go hiking or something. But
mm.
like you kind of want to immerse yourself in what your partner has going on, but I don't know, that might not be a good idea either.
For me,
Because then
I
you spending
like
too much time together.
that's the problem. Yeah, because I could say from my own experience, like one of my hobbies, I like to game. So you catch me on my
What is that?
Xbox.
Oh,
Xbox.
gaming.
Yes,
So do you got a Twitch?
I do, but this is a problem. If you put a camera, a mic, anything in front of me, I will typically, like, the personality just does this.
You're
Today,
doing
it's
great.
not. I know today it's not, though. And I can say that comfortably that I feel like I'm being myself. And I honestly, we're going to circle back around to this drinking thing. I think that's playing a role because the settings in which I drink is kind of like social settings, but like to just kind of mellow out so I can
Mm-hmm.
socialize better. Because I would say I have social anxiety. So I think what I'm learning with not drinking is I'm still the same fun,
You
outgoing,
still
like I have the
dope as
same
fuck.
personality.
You're right.
Like I still have all of that sober. So,
Right.
you know, um, I have a Twitch. I don't use it often, but I do game a lot. Me and my friends play. Our game we play the most is called Dead by Daylight. It's a horror game where it's like four. We usually play survivor. You can be the survivor. You can be the killer. It's usually four of us. We're surviving against the killer. The object of the game is to repair these generators that power an exit gate, and you escape. And the kind of the allure of the game is one I love horror movies, slasher horror movies. So you'll have Michael
Oh.
Myers, Jason, Ghostface, all of them. Chucky just came into the game. So it's a real fun game. So back to the point because I just started rambling. Um, the person I dated before the last person I dated also gamed and was a part of that.
Oh.
And it felt like there was no separation. And and
Oh.
to his credit, or I guess our credit at the time, we were together during the pandemic. So it was like we lived together. So it's like we were in the same space.
Uh-huh.
Like I worked from home, he worked from home, and then we'd both be on the game. And it was like I'm basically with you all day. So the last
Yeah,
relationship I
I can
was
see
in,
that.
I loved that he did not game. It was beautiful. But like every now and then he'd be like, "Oh, play, whatever this game with me." And I'm okay. So yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that
that
makes
works better
sense.
for me. I need space and some capacity.
All right, so we're about to
Also,
get
don't ruin
into
my hobbies. That's another thing. Because if we
what
break
happened.
up, I ain't gonna want to game no more.
Really?
That's how I am. Like you start to like you form memories with a person, and then you kind of not want to do the stuff associated with them after. That's how I am,
Man,
at least
fuck
sometimes.
that. Like fuck that, huh? So I got something down here that I want to ask you. Three things you are doing differently in 2024.
Hmm. Um, that's a good question. I will say work-wise. See, I'm about to end up in a whole nother like tangent.
So
Okay, so I had this epiphany. So I think
it's
that's the
not the
best way
epiphany.
I can answer that this way because I was just talking to one of my friends about this, who you call RBF. Um,
I love RBF. So
so
insightful.
she is. So I had this epiphany that I realized because I was just talking about this person. So I'll use a letter. So I was in a relationship with T,
Mhm.
and we still lived in LA. So I guess I'm going
Mhm.
back to the pandemic, 2020, 2020. So we had an apartment in LA. He was a property property manager. So free rent, which I always told him, even through the good and bad, that was a godsend because that the pandemic hit, and then my job, we weren't getting paid for months at a time because I was working in the
Right.
private sector at the time, and clients weren't paying the company wasn't paying us, but we were real cool and like close to the CEO, believed in the mission kind of thing. So it was like, let's just keep working, then hopefully that'll get us paid. And like what ended up happening was we got to December of 2020 and he lost that job, and I wasn't getting paid at that point consecutively for probably 5 months. So I ended up quitting so I can go on unemployment. And then because he lost that job, we lost that apartment. And so we basically, within the month of December, came up with this whole plan to move to Houston. And we carried that out from the middle of December. That I think the firing happened in the middle of December. We carried that out, and we moved to Houston the first week of January. So what I realized is that, and I was engaged. I forgot to mention that. So I was engaged to this person. So the plan was pick a city that seems, appropriate for our age group. We'll have stuff to do, but also pick a city where we feel like we could settle down, buy a house, that kind of stuff. So
Mhm.
the plan at that time was move to Houston, get married, because I think we were planning for 2022, get married and buy a house and kind of go like that. That was the order. And I forgot what that phrase is about telling God your plans.
And he
But
laughed at him.
yes, so that was the plan. And the epiphany that I had is that when that relationship didn't work out, I didn't have a backup plan. And that
Mm.
relationship ended the end of 2021. So we didn't even make it a full year in Houston, and we had broke up. And I would say that from 2021 up until this year, I have been moving and moving and moving and going with no type of plan, with no direction. It's kind of been just try to keep a job, in my field, of course, try to keep a job, make money, pay your rent, go out, try to just have a life. And some aspects of that were good because I kind of just got to live a little structure free. But I
Mhm.
also realized that me living without any structure does not work for me. So to bring it back around to your question, something I had never done before is a vision board. And I kept
Mm.
saying at the end of last year, like, I want to make a list. I want to make a list. There's stuff I know I want to do this year. And I was avoiding a vision board because I hate arts and crafts kind of things. And Somebody
Mhm.
told me to just do it on Canva. And I was like, that still feels arts and crafts, even though it's digital. So I ended up caving. I did it.
Mhm.
I made a vision board for the first time. So it feels good to feel like I'm aspiring to do things again
Mhm.
because I feel like I kind of let that part of myself go. And I honestly just been out here figuring it out. And there are some things I want to accomplish this year that I'm 100% going to do. And I'm going to print this vision board out so I can keep all of that in mind. But yeah, that was basically the epiphanies that I just been doing and doing and doing. And there's been no real thought or method behind it. And I was talking to Lottie. If y'all don't know, Lottie's our cousin, also a really great person to talk to. And she was telling me like, her word of the year. And I was like, that is something I want to incorporate into my vision board. And so for me, my word is center because I just want to just center myself and just center my mind and focus and just kind of create some kind of self
I'm gonna have to
stabilization.
write that down.
So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm not going to say the not drinking has led me to all of these thoughts.
I
I
think it
think that
has. You might not need fuck that
and then
tequila. This
not
whole
pick it up
this
again.
we getting a whole different. I don't even know if it's different. I just think you're really coming into your own. Like
Mhm.
you're about to be 30. I think like a lot you've been through. You know, it's crazy. Me and my dad was talking about you the other day. We were talking about the podcast.
Mhm.
And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do, a video podcast with Mark. And he was like, you know what? I love that. Like, because that young man, he's been through a lot, and to see like everything he's been through and he's making it through to graduate from USC and move to a place he had never lived before and to be out there and figuring his stuff out. He's like, yeah, when you talk to him, tell him I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him because that's not easy just to pick up and leave and go to another place that see I didn't even know you left like that. Like I never
Mhm.
knew that story, and to know you did that, and that like it walks me into the question my mom had for you was, how do you think your transition from LA to Houston has been, and if you could do it all over again, would you?
Oh, so that's a good question.
She been hanging
Uh,
around me, you see the NBA rubbing off on her.
well, before I answer that, shout out to Big Juan, and I want to say thank you because I see Big Juan out here got some businesses going. So, congratulations to him too.
Hope he makes it so I can get some.
You trying to be a trust fund baby?
Damn right. Or I need to give me a sugar daddy because doing it normal ain't working for me.
See, the thing about a sugar daddy is just don't want no sugar, please. I'll send you any type of multimedia you want.
Mark, you can get some sugar for the right price. You ain't gonna get
I
no
don't know.
sugar up if he was like, you know what, I'll invest $1 million in whatever you want to do.
Well, $1 million is a whole nother conversation. You can get sugar,
Like
spice, and
Edna said,
everything
she would
nice.
marry Mike Tyson daughter for 10.
Didn't Landry say she'd marry Oprah?
Your mama said it too. That
Oh,
said it do for money.
appropriating my culture for some money. Jesus.
You damn right.
But to answer your question, what was the first part of it again?
How has your transition from LA to Houston been?
Okay,
And the second part is, and if you had to do it again, would you do it?
I'll answer the second part first. Absolutely. So I remember I had this job in 20, I think from 2017 to 2018. Oh, hated that job. But I remember talking to the CEOs of nonprofits. So, usually a nonprofit, you usually know the CEO.
Is that housing one?
Yes.
Fuck that one.
Good mission. I don't know. It was just some stuff off. But I remember at that time talking to the CEO a lot about just not wanting to be in LA no more. And I was like, something in my spirit is just telling me to move. So I remember at that time when I was kind of early into the job, thinking I was going to be there, all of that stuff, I'm like, oh, I know that there's different offices in different cities. Like, if I ever want to transfer, is that possible? So I knew since probably 2017 I wanted to go because I don't want to say regret, but something I kind of wish I did differently was go to school somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So, I spent all my life up until I think that would be 26 years old in LA. And I just wanted to go. So I would do it again in a heartbeat because it forced me to kind of grow up in some ways that I didn't even know I wasn't grown up in. Because I would say, I think people could pretty much agree that I'm pretty self sufficient and all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of always thought I was already grown pretty early on. But I think this experience, I grew up a little bit more. Um, the transition, the transition was it was pretty good because in LA, I don't feel like unless you choose my words right, you know where we from. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where you go mostly see people that look like us.
Right.
And out here, I can go to a lot of different places and I'm gonna see black people. I'm gonna see black owned businesses. So and then there's Southern hospitality is real. It's real. So like it's a different level of community. And then on top of that, being black and gay, I don't feel
Mm-hmm.
like there was really a community in LA for us. So if we going out, we going to West Hollywood, and that's where the white gays are. No shade to them. The music's different, the vibe is different,
Right.
and gay does not stop somebody from being racist. So,
Right. Right.
it's a completely different ball game. We're out here. It's a dope black gay community. Now, do I feel like it's too many? Maybe. But it's been dope to kind of just see people that look like me and people who are like me. So the
Mm-hmm.
transition has been okay. I will say the harder part is so you cut people off in 2023. I had to let some people go in 2022 and
Mm-hmm.
friend wise. And so now I kind of live out here with no anchor. That's the best way I can put it. I don't have an anchor. So I moved out here with someone. That relationship ended. And then I had friends out here, like really close friends. One really close friend that was already here. I'm no longer friends with that person. And then I had a really close friend move here. And that friendship also ended in 2022. So there's no anchor that's kind of keeping me here. No kids, no relationship. So that's kind of a little bit of a struggle. Like I do have friends here, but I haven't formed like that super closeness yet. And I'm one of them people that takes a while to warm up to get that close. So all of my family still in LA. And then my close friends are kind of scattered throughout the
Mm-hmm.
country. I got one in Fort Worth. She just moved to Dallas. Dallas Fort Worth area. I
Oh,
got
the Dallas.
You have not met her. So I have friends that I met during the
Oh,
pandemic through gaming that we've
oh, okay.
flown out, seen each other, hung out, that I've
Right.
been friends with for like 4 years now. So she's one of them.
Okay.
Shout out to Mars. And Landry gonna kill me, but Mars is somebody that I kind of look at as a little sister. Landry hate when you add sisters to the equation, but
And she has one.
we ain't even gonna go there.
I
But
would
yeah, I
never
got
get her on
her.
my podcast. We're gonna get canceled.
That's gonna be a sick episode. Um, But then I still got my girl Erica in LA. I got Malaya, aka RBF,
Oh,
and
I
my
love
friend
that
Mikey.
Malaya. Who's
So
Mikey?
yeah,
Have I met Mikey?
no, another friend that I met through gaming. All four of them are like my best friends. So Malaya and Mikey both in Atlanta. And then I got Mars in Fort Worth, so she's a little closer, and then Erica in LA. But as far as Houston, it's just I don't have anybody. So I'm looking at that now as an opportunity to kind of capitalize on the friendships that I've made thus far and
Mm-hmm.
add some depth to them. Like I'm literally sitting here at my friend's place recording this podcast, but
And he all probably like, damn, I ain't even a friend. You at my house and shit.
no, because me and him are very similar. Like we
Uh,
are okay with seeing each other once a month, and when we do, we
uh-huh.
good or whatever. But I'm gonna work on changing that with some people, including him. So if he can hear this, then we got some work to do. But I do want to really create my own personal community
Your
here.
own tribe.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
we
feel
all
like I
need
have
our own
that.
tribe.
Yeah.
But I will say that this is my spiritual bag, that you do have an anchor. God is your anchor. Like the
Oh,
Most
you
High
ate
is your
that.
anchor.
You ate that.
As long as you have that, I think you having that, like you don't even realize you were able to navigate in Houston. Think about what you just said. You left, you were engaged, they broke up, you broke up in a year, you done just ended another situation, you done changed careers, you done moved, you done did it, and you are still fucking here. So you have an anchor. Now it's just you have to find, like we just said, your tribe. You have
Yeah.
to find people that kind of think like you a little bit, that align with what you have going on. People, I don't even like the word loyalty anymore because it's, don't even get me
I've
started
heard
on
that
that
on the
word.
podcast.
Like, cause once you really think about it, you be like, why am I loyal to you? You treat me like shit. Like, anyways, but, but so for me, I think once we get our tribe, and it don't even have to be a lot of people, just people that you align with and people that you can get to the next level with, is really important. And for you to say these friends you have from gaming, that's your tribe. They may not be there, but that's your tribe. How many people can say they met some people? Well, pretty much all your friends you've met like that, huh?
I would
Like
say half.
social media, like
Yeah.
internet technology type
Hmm.
friendship you were able to acquire. And I think that speaks to, I don't know, Mark, I don't know if you're a social butterfly.
Not
And I
really.
don't know if you have to be. I think you're going to attract your tribe with how you live your life. So if you're gaming, you might find friends that game. You running, you might find people that run. Like it's just, I don't want you to like get down on yourself and make it seem like you're not doing enough as it relates to your social network, because what you have right now is getting you through and you're thriving with what you have right now. You have to be very careful not to be, I don't want to use the word desperate, but not to be thinking about that and bring in the wrong people into your space and
Very
your
true.
environment. Because you can be like, damn, I want friends, I want to go out, and then you get the wrong people around you, and them bitches, telling you, they'll uproot your shit quick. Like, and won't even care and won't even think it's a fucking problem. That's what I don't like. I have my moments where I think like, damn, I want some friends, I want to go out, and then I sit to myself and say, I'd rather go watch Lexi cheer. I'd rather go watch Kelly jump around, because I
Yeah.
feel like that's inspiration, and you never know where you get your motivation and your inspiration from. And I think showing up for the people you love and care about, like it moves. Like I had so much energy after today, because
Hmm.
like going to support Callie and doing that and being there for Lexi yesterday whenever they call and say they need, like doing stuff like that, I feel like brings me more life and brings me more energy and joy versus trying to find somebody to bring me that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I want you to be very careful when you decide to open up your social network and you're meeting people and engaging in conversation, that you don't just let anybody in your fucking space, because these vultures, they'll come, they ain't stealing shit, they stealing energy. They gonna steal something by the time they leave your shit, and you better hope it ain't your TV.
No, that's real. And I do want to say I like to be intentional with words. So I'm glad, I like your perspective when it comes to like the word anchor versus tribe, because I do want to kind of switch up that verbiage now that I think about it from that perspective.
Yeah, because I think we all just need the one anchor. Because
Yeah.
then he'll guide us however he sees fit. And I think for you, I don't even know if you're similar like me, but I think for you, just watching you navigate your different seasons and watching you grow up, you have to get people that's going to protect your heart
Hmm.
because you're a really good person and people will fucking play with you once they're in that space. And
Hmm.
you have to be very careful with that. So, and with you being in a space you don't have family, you don't have a lot of fuck friends. You don't have people that you connect with. Like it can. I didn't. Say, I felt like that in Dallas when I lived there. But
Hmm.
I think once I found my tribe, which was Chanel, her sister Asia. I ain't even gonna say his name,
Uh,
but I was okay because I knew I
mhm.
could do everything I needed to do in my life with these people and I would be fine. Like it was never about the quantity for me, it was always about the quality. And I've always tried to be very protective of my space and my energy because I'm telling you, these fuckers don't care. They will fuck your life up and leave and then be mad and say you tripping. You came in here and left all this negative ass 2005 energy in here. And now I'm tripping. So yeah, like you got your anchor, dog. Your family, we gonna be your anchors too. Just get your tribe and make sure it's the right, because you don't want people coming in. You need maybe two more RBF. It ain't out there, but similar. But
Mhm.
she a cold motherfucker by herself, so
I'm
you
trying to
can't
get her to move
duplicate
here.
that.
I wish she would move here, but
Do
she done
you
got her.
think, like, I was thinking about this the other day. Do you think having your friends close to you makes the relationship better?
No. Well,
Okay.
let me say, well, when you say better, what do you mean?
I mean, like, do you think it would be a better overall situation with being able to talk more or hang out more? Or it would add a
Hmm.
different dynamic to the relationship if they were like right here.
I wouldn't say it would make it better, but I would say I would agree on the dynamic part because I think when you have people around you like that are actually physically around you, they can kind of see your circumstances, whether it's where you live, who you hang out with, where you work, who you date, all of that kind of stuff, and people being able to kind of
Mm,
see it live and in color, be like, you know how like you got your mama, be like, oh, that ain't your
right.
friend, and you don't see
Ooh.
it at first, but then you end up
Right,
finding out.
right,
Like I think when
right,
you have your friends physically close, or at least friends that you know have a good level of discernment and people that you
right.
trust, it's like they'll be able to point out some stuff maybe you're not even seeing right now. So dynamic would be
Yeah, I can
different
see
for
that.
sure.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I was thinking about would I ever move again, and
Mhm.
I don't know. I think the only way I would move again is if what the hell is the date? Oh, the 20th. I'm sorry, I got something due on the 26th, and I'm like, hold on. But you know, I need to focus. But unless I got like married and I had a kid and my husband was like, I think it's a better opportunity for us to go anywhere, go somewhere else. But
Mhm.
I just feel like after coming back in I want to say maybe the last 2 years, I've been feeling like I haven't really conquered LA
Yeah.
or Southern California. I feel like there's so much for me to give back to the community. There's so much to do. There's so many different things that I haven't even done. And you don't realize how powerful you are to other people. And
Mhm.
I think you can't take that for granted where you just showing up helps somebody out. And I
Yeah.
feel like LA does that for me where I'm able to show up and bring a different energy, bring a different element to what's going on. So I would have to be married and a kid, and they're like, you know what, babe, we can move here, and I'd be like, oh, okay, let's consider it. But I just feel like there's so much to do in LA, and I see LA different than when I seen it as a kid and as a teenager, and even as a younger adult. I see it differently now. I'm like, wow, I can do that, or I should be doing that, or this and that. So, like, I don't know. I like it here. Would you move back to LA?
Yeah, I would. I think it would take it would it's gonna take some hell and some high water, but I
What's the
never say
hell in high water so I can write it down?
income, high
Oh,
income. And at some point if the economic bubble bursts and home prices become decent and home ownership is attainable, that is my two biggest things. Like if I'm making enough money to be able to survive, like not even survive, I hate that word, well, not in the sense that I'm using it, I don't like using it that way. I want to be able to live comfortably. Like I don't want to just pay my rent and stay in a house, and that's what I was doing when I lived there and was paying rent. So yeah, I would move back, but it's just certain things that got to make sense. Because I've thought about it. Because I made this vision board for 2024, but
hmm.
I'm trying to get myself to start looking ahead 2 years, 5 years. What do I want to do? And LA has swirled around in my head. I'm not gonna lie. So we'll see. I never say
I
never.
really wish I had just a bunch of money to say, you know what, come back. It's gonna come. Watch. It's gonna come. You're gonna get that call and be like, hey, what you want to make? When are you coming back? But I don't know. I don't. When I think about people coming back, because this was my thought. Like I felt like a failure. I felt
Mhm.
like I didn't stick it out. I had no fight and all of that. And I just feel like when you come back, does it really propel you to the next level? And I
Right.
think you have to weigh that option because there's no point in coming back if you're going to be stagnant, you're going to be miserable, you're going to be depressed. Like, there's no reason to come back.
Right. Yeah,
Now,
that's
if,
a good
if
point.
you're not and you know, we living in Malibu or off the fucking water, then hey, then bring your ass back.
Exactly. Yeah, the
But
propelling part, that's the part that matters. Like I got to come back and it just got to be upward for me. Like feeling like a failure. I think I was supposed to knock on wood. I ain't got no wood, so I ain't gonna say that. I'll just say if I came back, I don't think I'd feel that way strictly because I feel like the only people that could make me feel that way would be family, I guess, because that's who I'd be around.
because you
And I
know
can
them bitches.
say
Ooh,
there's not many people in our family that have ever left, and people that nobody's ever left on a whim either, really. So it's like
right.
nobody can shame me for coming back home if I did something y'all ain't never did before.
Well, this
Exactly.
is what I do. That's funny you said that. It's because let me tell you, this is why I got to open my social center for the Asian community. I was talking to Miss Lee because we went to see The Color Purple and I had picked her up. When I
Mm,
tell you Miss Lee is so coherent, she knows streets, she knows how far is where she grew up from Detroit, just all this kind of stuff. And this is when I had my moment like, Damo, you're doing pretty, you're okay. I was talking to Miss Lee, and Miss Lee was like, you know, Dominique, I saw you talking about business, and you had all this positive energy. You looked so beautiful. Where the hell is Miss Lee stalking me at? And she's talking about my videos on Instagram. I didn't know if Miss Lee followed me on Instagram,
mhm.
whatever it is. And I said, yeah, Miss Lee, I'm just trying to, do my thing because I want to be famous and be able to use that to give back to the community. And, I'm just trying to be famous. I'm trying to get there. Miss Lee looked at me and said, I thought you were already famous. Oh, God damn it. I don't make it for nobody else. I got to make it for that damn Miss
Oh
Lee.
yeah, Miss Lee, see something. She just spoke something over
I'm
you,
telling you, we got God and Miss Lee.
neck and neck.
I mean, they tight. So when she said that, it made me think to myself, like, we be so stressed and we be so worried about so many different things. And you got people that see you do stuff and they like, damn, that was fascinating. Like, you're doing damn good for yourself. And I had that realization, like, damn, Miss Lee said I was famous. Miss Lee
Yeah,
is the GOAT. And I
right.
was just like, wow, that really touched me because she Miss Lee's older, but you see my content and you just like, wow, like, man, that was some good stuff right there. So I was just like, wow, I'm doing good. My mama was laughing when Miss Lee said that. She's like, man, Miss Lee really think you famous, Damo. Why would you tell her otherwise?
Exactly.
When you have them, and those moments come from different sources. It can be Ricky. Oh no, Ricky, no, but it can be Ricky telling you something, or it just you never know who God is speaking through to keep you going, and be like,
Yeah.
oh shit, if I wanted to give up, damn, I can't now. You got this me looking at my shit. So now I'm like trying not to curse, even though I throw my
Right.
little
Oh.
shits and fuckers and bitches in there. But but so it's like it keeps you focused. It really does. I want to kind of talk about your career.
So for the people that don't know, my career field is urban planning. And I graduated from USC with a degree in that, and I've been working in the field. What has it been? Like, I guess I graduated 2016. So like 7 years, basically. I've been
Hmm.
working in the field for 7 years, and, I'm doing it out here in Houston. And the realization I came to recently is it's smart to just continue to be marketable. Like, no matter how I was feeling about the position or the company, I got to get something out of it. So,
Right.
a part of the things that's on my vision board is I really want this certification that it's called AICP. That's something that
Hmm.
planners get, and it's something that makes you more marketable. And I also just want to learn more because it's a lot of stuff that that I should have learned when I was in school. But I don't know why they'd be telling you to go to school at like 18 because I wasn't retaining half that. But whatever. So I want to
Oh, see,
relearn
now
that
they want to
stuff.
sue you for the money too, bastards.
Oh, yeah, if y'all are listening, you're never going to get it. So
Never.
you better off talking to Biden. Um,
No, he ain't got much longer. He like
don't
fucking
call.
96 years old.
Don't call me because they do let a call and email and send you some hate mail.
And then, you know the crazy part about that? The fees are so expensive. You don't think the degree I got is past that?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Who gives an 18-year-old $50,000 with no job and no credit?
Idiot.
If anything, I think I posted something like that on Instagram. If anything, they need financial responsibility because
Listen,
who does that?
it's a very dumb investment. That was worse than when Martin bought that house.
Damn, that was an older episode too. That's one of the
No,
newer ones, huh?
that was one of the newer ones where that man was trying to
Yeah,
spook him
but
out of
that's
it. Yeah.
yeah. Shit was falling apart. Oh hell no. So I didn't ask you some stuff. You can kind of ask me a question or two. I'm
Oh,
pretty much an open book, as you can see from my podcast.
okay. I'm gonna start surface level because I've been wondering this since the beginning of this episode or beginning of us recording. You said in the last episode you were unsure of to call it the finale or the start of season two. So where are we today?
You know, only I just don't want to limit myself because I think when you get caught up, it's like I need to do 10 episodes or I need to do
Mhm.
10 seasons. You kind of get away from just recording and having fun. So
Yeah.
we're gonna we're gonna say this is number 11. No,
Okay.
this will be yeah
I
11.
probably.
Yeah, because I just did 10. So 11. I like that. 1 the
Hmm.
beginning. It's January. So
Yeah.
we're just going to call it, number 11. I think I would just start naming them numbers instead of seasons. But I think when you put it in like Spotify and Apple, you have to pick a season or some shit like that. So,
Okay.
but I'm going to go with 11. I think it's actually fitting from what we're doing. Being the start of the year, you being the first person to ever videotape and be on the podcast. Who are they gonna be so jealous, especially that Takai and Landra? But
Um,
anyways,
you picked the perfect two.
I'm not putting them on mine. I don't got no paywalls yet. Them motherfuckers
Oh,
give me cancer, especially that
you
last one, that
put
R. Kelly shit. Hell no.
and Takai mouth.
Ooh, Imagine she got on here and said that she will staple somebody's social security card to their birth certificate and throw it out the window. Imagine her saying that. Or dig up your granny and put her on the porch. Like imagine the shit that comes. No, no. No.
I don't know if
Okay.
there's anything beyond explicit to rate your podcast, but you would have to do something to that episode.
I would have to go on a paywall where you have to pay to hear their content because baby, you get her talking about R. Kelly, this shit is over. Because she don't pay about Kels.
Lord Jesus. But no, I
But
asked that
yeah, I
first
think I'm gonna do
question.
11. Uh-huh.
Okay. I asked that to set up another question because I
Okay.
needed to know the parameters. I guess
Mm-hmm.
so. Hmm, how do you think you've changed as far as like content within the podcast from, I guess, how you present yourself or just how you do the podcast from episode 1 to now episode 11?
I think with each episode, I've gotten more comfortable. Like when you listen to it, you guys would think I have confidence, I'm assuming. I think you guys would think I wasn't anxious, I wasn't nervous or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. But I can tell my voice changes with the different episodes. I think my confidence level increases with each episode. And I think if I didn't do the first episode where when I laid everything out, I don't think I would be here right now because that one gave me the confidence to keep going. It was like, oh wow, you were that vulnerable and you were okay. You were cool, you felt better. So keep going. And another thing I think for me, I think I get more and more resourceful with this podcast
Mm-hmm.
because I don't think people knew I recorded those first 9 episodes at the library for free. Like
Yeah.
they have all the equipment and all the things, and I think when you're when your back is up against the wall a little bit, you gotta figure things out. And I thank God I grew up poor because when
Talk
you
about it.
grow up that way, you know how to be resourceful and figure things out
Mm-hmm.
at a level that most people don't know how to operate at. I tell people all the time, I can operate at the poor and the low level. I would be scared when y'all give me some money.
Right.
When I become wealthy, is that's gonna be like, oh, y'all ain't seen shit yet. Like if I can do it at this level, imagine here. So I just think I got more confident. I think I got more centered and
Mm-hmm.
focused with what I wanted to talk about, how much of myself I wanted to divulge to people who were listening. And I just think I keep elevating with things to talk about. And I didn't think like talking about how miserable I was for the holidays would be my favorite episode. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy because I do a lot of I've done 10, 11 now, but episode 10 was probably my favorite and my favorite number is 10. But I just think me continue to be okay with myself is what's important with doing this. And I think I get a little bit more comfortable with who Dominique is becoming. And I love that for me
Yeah.
and for y'all because y'all get a really good podcast, I guess. And you know what? One thing I do love about the way I do my podcast, I don't give a fuck about men versus women. I don't care about some of the things people get on these podcasts and
Oh,
talk about, like
yes.
red pill, blue pill. Like, I don't care about any of that because it just doesn't move the needle for me. I think when you're talking about yourself and you're talking about things you're going through and you're working through, and then you bring people in like yourself, which you have been amazing. It's like, it's more, you connect more. Like, who cares about whether men are the leaders of the household? I don't want to hear that shit no
Mm.
more.
Hate it.
Like it is
Hate it.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm just so thankful I never went down that rabbit hole of comparing this and that. And they can have that. I don't want that. And I don't want to ever. Now, we might talk about stuff that's going on, but the whole debating who's better and who's more superior, and I don't want that bag.
Yeah.
that's not for me. I don't think that's informative to anybody because at the end of the day, my daddy and people still listen to this. So I want them to be like, I want people to listen and say, "Damn, I didn't even know that." Like when you told me about the December, you had a month, him losing that job. I didn't know that. Maybe
Yeah,
we weren't speaking like that anyway, but
I don't think
that's
so.
none of they damn business. But
None at all.
I didn't know that. Like we've never talked about what prompted the move, and I just
Hmm.
assumed you wanted something different. But to hear that it's like, and this motherfucker is still out there surviving. I always knew you had it. I always knew it.
I say,
Always
yeah,
knew it.
you've known in times I didn't know.
Yeah, I always knew it. Like I think about like all of the times that you just sit back and motivate people and you don't really try to. It's just you being loving and supporting and throwing like so much energy into it and you sit back and be like, dang, like I like that for them. Like I'm happy for them. I've been
Yeah.
able to clap for people and be happy for people in some of the most depressing times in my life. And I'm just so thankful for that opportunity because I could have been a bitter bitch.
It's a lot of them out here. They walking
Ooh,
amongst us.
and I'm so thankful I never did that, and I just get better. I'll be 37 in March. Can you believe that?
Can't tell.
I done cut the hair off, got the nose piercing. People think I'm so exotic. Like one man was like, "You must be a big time freak." I need to put my wig back on then, because
Oh
that
my
ain't
God.
it. Baby, I go to church on Sundays.
Them be the biggest freaks.
Just giving it to the Lord. Yeah, so that's the difference. Just the confidence and being more vulnerable and being in tune with my feelings and my thoughts. And
Mm,
that's it. And really not caring what people say. I
yeah.
used to care. I used to think like, damn, what is it gonna say? Or now I just be like, I did it for me. Whether one person likes it or 100 people like it, I did it for me. And if I'm okay with what when I press record and then press stop, then I'm okay with that. And that's how I want to live my life going forward. As long as I'm not hurting anybody, and I don't think I've offended anyone. I don't, and I could have.
Yeah.
But what would that have gotten me? You know what I'm saying? So as long as I'm not offending people, and I don't know, the cheerleaders did take that last one pretty hard a few episodes ago. Oh well, cheerleading is not a sport,
Not a sport?
but
Oh, okay.
yeah, they.
I figured
You
that's
know,
what it was.
Londa, what are you talking about? The Demos is a top-notch organization that created so many athletes. Okay, Londa, go out there and run right now.
Oh my
But yeah,
God.
so as long as I keep that and do that, I think I'm fine. I think I'm good.
So if you were to take away, I guess, any negative experiences, where would you say has been your favorite place to live? And we can get a little specific because I know you've done Dallas, you've done Long Beach, you've done Redwood City, you've done downtown LA. So, where's been your favorite place?
Surprisingly, it would be Dallas, Dallas,
Okay.
Texas. I became a woman in Dallas, Texas. Not like I was just giving myself away, but I think I tapped into being being independent in Dallas because I had no family. I had no friends out there. And I don't have a lot of friends here. Shit, what I got two friends here, maybe two or three. But I feel like I was able to tap into becoming a woman, becoming someone that I could be proud of. And when I went out there, I thought I met the love of my life. But when I went out there, I didn't
Yeah.
have any expectations really. I got the promotion. I had to take on two different opportunities out here. So I just felt like I got closer to God. I think my faith and my spiritual journey increased. I've connected with some amazing people that I still talk to today, which is so interesting. And I think I became more well rounded. I think coming from South Central LA and coming from our family, we're so tight knit. Like it's really a tight circle. And when you don't have that element anymore, you have to figure out how to best navigate that. And I feel like when I lived in Dallas, I had to go out more. I had to go to lunch and the gym and social networking events and all these different things that I wouldn't have never done if I would have still been in LA. And I think in order, because it's so crazy you said that. I was just talking to my dad about that, and I was saying when I moved from Dallas, I had to go sleep with you at Terry House. Remember that?
Yeah. That.
And I had to start all the way over. But when I look at my situation now with moving out of downtown LA, I've been here before. So guess what I'm thinking? I'm about to kill it.
Right.
I did it already. I moved back from Dallas in September of 2016 and I was in Redwood City by what, December?
Yep.
Remember we celebrated, what was our song? It was the Destiny's Child
Say
Christian
yes.
song.
That was
Say yes.
Michelle Williams. Yeah. Yep.
That was our. I said Destiny's Child. Poor Michelle. I'm sorry, baby.
I mean, they was on it, so it was kind of
Yeah,
Destiny's Child.
but that was, remember, and got
Hmm.
getting the offer. So I think if I do not go to Dallas and take on everything that it threw at me, I'm not here today. To be honest with
Yeah.
you, I'm still stuck in LA, stagnant. Maybe working certain jobs, but I don't become who I was destined to be without going to Dallas. So I think Dallas was by far the most important place I've ever been. I still love Dallas, even though it's changed so much. Even with all the negativity with me and old boy not working out and trying to figure that out, I still wouldn't trade that experience for anything. And if I had to relive those years I was out there, I would go relive them all over again and do everything the same exact way.
Did you know that was my first flight?
I know. What? Oh, I
The
still got
pizza
it. My mom
box?
will laugh. I still got the pizza box. And Takai was talking about how you didn't have no flight home. I'm glad you made it back home. I guess they had
Oh,
got your flight mixed up.
oh yeah. Forgot about that. There was something weird going on with the flight.
Let me tell you how crazy that is. You know, remember you wrote on the box Permanente? My
Hmm.
next job was Kaiser Permanente.
I remember. Oh my god. See?
I told my mom, give a fuck where I live. That pizza box is coming, honey. Lexi wrote the message. Lexi was so mad Takai went to fucking Texas. Why is she here? Like, damn. That's when Lexi was very evil. She's such a sweetheart now.
She
But you know
is.
that's
Love
the
her.
crazy. Oh, she's such a doll and so smart. That was Ashley's first flight too when she came to visit the week after y'all.
Okay. Yeah, I had never
Yeah,
been
so
on a plane.
yeah, I learned a lot. That was, see, if I don't go to Dallas, Mark, do you really go to Houston? And I'm not trying to take credit for what you got going on. But just think, like, when you think about things that happen around you, be like, damn, somebody I know did it. I can
Yeah.
fucking do it too.
Yeah.
And
That
I'm gonna do
definitely
it
played a
better than
role.
they did it. You doing it better than I did it.
I don't know if I'd say all that. I
Yeah.
definitely, I definitely, that was a blueprint because you know how our family is. So it's like, it's this tight knit circle. And within that circle, I had never seen anybody do that before. So that showed me if I wanted to do it, I could do it. Because, I mean, why else do you think Texas was kind of at the top of my list? So I'm like, I've seen
Right.
somebody move, to Texas before. I wasn't the biggest fan of Dallas when I visited, like myself, but like when I visited after you moved. When I visited myself, I didn't care for Dallas too much. Houston, I moved here sight unseen. So,
Yeah. And you know what else is like so impactful about that is that I think that's when you told me about your situation. When
hmm,
you wrote me the letter and you
yeah,
sent me the letter. I think it was like 2 weeks. You could have told me that shit in person. And you sent me the letter and I was just like, okay.
right. No,
I'm
because when I
like, I'm still rocking. You know, I was like,
ooh,
I feel like that was you think about those moments and you be like, damn, like, and now look at us.
I
And
know,
what was
because
that like?
that was
Not going on 9 years ago.
that had to be like 2014.
It was March. Y'all came out there March 15, 2015.
Uh-huh. Okay, then yeah, 2015. Yep. Yeah, I still remember that like whole time period now that you bring that up because I think about where I'm at now, like how you talked about becoming a woman in Dallas. I feel like I became more of a man here and a lot
Mm-hmm.
more secure here. Because it was kind of like living in LA, how I said it ain't like a real big black gay community. It's like everybody knew each other in LA for the most part. And I don't feel like
Mm-hmm.
there's really places for community or gathering. So I feel like being in LA, being gay, and it kind of still being new for me, or at least being out, being new for me. It kind of felt like, black people that that grow up around only white people. And
Mm-hmm.
so being here, it was like, it felt like I'm with my tribe as far as just like the sense of community. So I felt like I've gotten to learn a lot more about myself, become a lot more secure and
Mm-hmm.
comfortable within my sexuality and within myself. So yeah, thinking about coming out to you almost a decade ago versus where I'm at now, it's a completely different person.
And like really nothing changed. I think what changed is that I became so protective. Like if somebody
Mm.
says something, I was like, hey, don't be with that bullshit. You can't say that. Like I became so protective to the point was like, what? I mean, and I don't even know if we had to, but I just think
Mm.
like the people that knew, we kind of were like, because Juanio said the same thing. He was like, I was going to bat. Like, I didn't give a fuck. Like, you know, come at my dog like that. So I just think we became so protective. And I think we became more understanding. We became more like the person we love so much is going to essentially need us to navigate this season with them. And I think we, like, you had some rocks that knew that information and was just like, and was willing to die about that shit if somebody said something out of line, like, hey, you got us fucked up.
Right.
You see what you just said? That's what we not having. I remember Londa had said, like, a comment, she had repeated something said on the comment. I'm like, we don't use that word.
I remember you telling
She
me about
all,
that.
hey, I still get in somebody's ass about it. Hey, we don't play about that. And it's not even to say that I didn't understand it or I didn't respect the community, but it was just more so now I have someone I love dearly in that community, and y'all got us fucked up if you get out of line.
Right.
And uh, I'm not in it, but I don't give a fuck. We're connected. We in this bitch. And I just, I love that. Like I know that
Mhm.
had to be hard, and having to tell people. I think what I don't like about sometimes when people are, let's just say they haven't choosing to come out, where you have some fucking hater somewhere that takes that from them
Mhm.
when they're ready when they want to. I just hate that for them, because I think you should be able to come out when you feel comfortable and people accept you. And if they don't accept you, keep it the fuck moving, but don't say nothing when you leave.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that you decided to do it your way. And you've been standing 10 toes in that shit, because I know it's not easy. I know it probably wasn't easy when it first occurred, but but you motherfuckers rule the world. Like, can't get shit done. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't play.
Uh,
Like, I don't like people saying nothing out of line, because at the end of the day, when you love and care about somebody, you care about their well being, and you want them to be happy, and you want them to live the life that they're living. And what you got going on don't stop me from living. If anything, it may enrich what I have going on. We can
mhm.
have shared stories. These niggas ain't shit. We can agree to that.
We can definitely agree to that. That's why I'm mad I'm back out here.
Yes.
The dating market is terrible.
And maybe y'all community might be worse, huh? So I
Oh
hear.
my God. No, because I don't know if it's worse, but it's weird because we have dynamics in our community that are based off of y'all dynamics that should not exist. And that creates issues. And then
I can
another
see
thing
that.
that's really big in the community is ageism. Because me turning 30 this year, I'm
Mark, you
basically,
you aging out of the community?
no, no, no.
Oh,
No, trust me. The people 30 plus, they're, well, I'm not even gonna go there. Anywho,
they're
it's like
worse.
I have not really dated that high up yet to experience, but now I'm technically considered high up there. So, I haven't really been there yet. Because I was dating, when I was in my 20s, so people in my
Uh
20s.
huh.
But what I will say is like being 30, and I participate in it jokingly sometimes, but like 30 is almost like 40, 50. Like people look at you as old in the gay community.
Really?
So yes, yes, yes. And like I said, I'll make some jokes, mostly because, and this isn't me necessarily justifying it, but I do feel like there's a lot of people in the community that are 30 and over that they get a little older and they just get nasty. Like as far as attitudes and like bitterness,
Oh,
and
I
I don't
thought you
know.
meant ooh.
Oh, they're that too. But it's just there's a lot of that in the community. But I will say a lot of the younger gays definitely you start pushing 30, you start getting called old. You get over 30, you're getting called old. And it don't help that I'm rocking salt and pepper and been doing it since high school.
Mark, I ain't gonna even hold you. The straight men that got that salt and pepper, they my favorite. It is something about a little salt and pepper patch. I think if you don't got something, if you don't got it, you're missing out. But
It took me a long time to get comfortable with this because the one person who always told me they loved it and always tried to, boost my confidence with it is Crystal. Crystal, any day of the week, would tell me that she
fucking
loved my
Crystal,
hair.
isn't she a doll?
It's, but because I used to dye my hair, um, like because my natural hair color is like dark
We're
brown.
dyeing it to cover that up. I just thought
So
you was like,
if
oh,
I did dark brown, yes. When I do colors like honey blonde or I do ginger, that's for fun.
oh,
Even though my running joke is I'm a natural ginger. um, but no, if I dyed dark brown, it was because I was hiding this and I didn't like it. And it's because I didn't get to do it. I be thinking back and I'm like, I didn't get to do it when I was younger. So like being in
mm,
high school and having this, it just felt weird. Like I felt out of place. And Teresa was not letting me dye my hair under her roof. So I think as an adult, it was like, oh, I finally get to do
where's
this.
the dot?
Right, exactly. But now I don't feel the need no more. I actually like it now. So like I'll probably keep doing
I
the
think it's
ginger.
gonna always be like that though.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
that's
it
not
might run in
changing.
your family.
It does. It's not changing unless I cut it off. But thank God, thank the good Lord for Big Mark and his genes, because I still got an intact hairline. I don't think I'm balding yet. And he
Yeah.
still got all of that he turning 70 this year. He still got a
That's a
hairline. He
damn
still got
shame
a.
Big Mark is turning 70. I
Hmm.
and Big Mark, your daddy is one person that you just can't see getting older.
I know.
It feels like Big Mark has been here forever.
For
Well, he
me,
has.
it's a little different though because he was 40 when I was born, so he was always older than me.
Oh yeah. I never saw Big Mark as old though.
Yeah.
But now we be like, man, Damo, I'm getting old.
Hmm.
The way y'all still out here cutting the rug at this post,
Right.
sit your ass down. The fact that
But
you turning 30, your mom's
mhm.
turning 60, and he's
Mhm.
turning 70.
Yep.
Y'all got a lot going on this year.
And their 25th wedding anniversary on her
So
birthday.
they had, oh, so they didn't have you out of wedlock. Oh, no, they did.
Oh no, they did. Best decision they ever
Oh,
made.
oh, yeah, because them first two,
Oh, they had to come clean up.
third, third time's the charm.
I mean, he got more than three himself, but I had to come.
So you the
Show,
baby on both sides.
yeah, I'm the baby on both sides, and then out of all of us, I'm the youngest boy.
And the only sane one too.
Sometimes I will
Yeah, because
admit,
I'm telling you. No, Travis is sane. I will say that. Well,
yeah, yeah, I had to think about it.
yeah, it's not bad.
No, no, he's not, but
Now
the
that
rest.
oldest on your mama's side. I'm
you
just picking
know,
on her because she want to be on the podcast.
Landra has become so good at giving advice. Like,
I know,
because
isn't it scary?
it is, because she always gave it, but I wouldn't say it was
But
always
it was
good.
like tough love, rough
Yeah,
shit. Like, bitch, get it together. Like, no, we
exactly.
don't need that.
Cut him off, or all of that. But
Yeah, fuck
it's
that
so
nigga. Like,
different.
what?
It's
No, yeah,
different
she's
now.
definitely. I think it's her old age.
hmm Yeah, because
But
I
I
will call
also think
her.
she has two daughters, like
Yeah.
especially Lexi, that it's made her a little softer, I guess.
hmm
Made her a little like I can't approach it like that. She's still gonna give that fuck that shit
Yeah.
type of mentality. But I think like you say, she does give really good advice sometimes. And she's like right on the spot with it too.
hmm
Like I was saying, and like Lexi would call me, but when Lexi's calling me, Landra's on FaceTime with her. So
Yeah.
she's like, she does that a little more just to see how you doing. And I think she's always been a thoughtful person. I just think she used to be a bitch.
And
And
a lot of
and
people don't talk
I guess
about.
she had the right to be.
Yeah, but what a lot of people don't talk about is how kids will also almost teach you, because
Mm-hmm.
I can just tell, because I don't live there no more, but seeing Lexi grow up and stuff, I can tell Lexi is teaching Landry some stuff, because your
Mm-hmm.
kids will teach you like what the current landscape of what society is, and kind of what's right, what's not, and teach you stuff, help you unlearn stuff that you thought was right. So I think
And I
seeing her
think
grow too.
yeah, I think they're growing up together.
Yeah, and it's
Like they
dope to see.
cook together.
hmm
Like they do a lot of
They
good
came
things.
out
And
here
I
and did
think
that.
that yeah, and they enjoy it. That's the crazy
Yeah,
thing. Like she'll cuss Lexi out, and Lexi be like, "Okay, cool. Like
but
what's
Lexi
next?"
eat her up too.
Yes. So I just think I think she's like, I think honestly, I think she's found herself,
hmm
and you can tell she's much happier and in her skin, and she's good. And I
Yeah.
love that for her. Just to see like you say with the advice and just being understanding and being there and talking me off the cliff and making me understand some stuff and was this is when I knew something had changed with her. When I wasn't talking to a particular relative, you know about that. Um, and we weren't talking. So Landra pulls me to the side and she's like, I don't care what happened. I don't care if you're right, that person's right, you're wrong, whatever. I just need to understand, can you guys get through it without it being like this? Because I don't like it. I don't like what it's doing, to you guys. It's not necessary. Can you guys move forward? And I literally sat back and thought to myself, like, I haven't even really been talking to you like that. Like, we've been like trying to get back to our relationship and being better. But for her to do that and knowing that she didn't have to, because it had nothing to do with her, it made me like that was the turning point for me where I was like, either something's happening with her or she just turned a corner and she's just seeing things differently and she's navigating. And I appreciated that it didn't really work because now me and that relative is not talking now, um
Like I knew that.
but that's an offline conversation. But
Right.
but that's when I knew. I was like, oh, okay, things are changing. And like my
Yeah.
mom always used to tell me, Damo, you can't think you're the only one that can change. And when she
Yeah.
said that, I was like, oh, wow, people can change. So that
That's
was kind
that's
of the
true.
like, oh. we got a different person here. And I think it's all about perception too. I think when you're looking for somebody to be a bad person or you're
Hmm.
looking for them to be a bitch, they're going to be a bitch. No matter
Yeah.
what they say or what they do, because you're looking
Yep.
for that. I
That's the
think when I
lens.
stopped looking for stuff like that, I didn't get it. So it was just
Yeah.
like, oh, well, shit, that shit was all in my head, or it was all in my perception. Like, I think once you change that, you kind of see people differently, which I think we all should do, honestly.
That's actually interesting because I would say the Landra, we probably get the same Landra, but I think we look at her differently. So like I'll call Landra, like if I call Landra, it's because like mentally I'm kind of tapped out and like I don't call my
Hmm.
parents about stuff because I don't even want them to worry about me. But I will call
Hmm.
Landra, like that's kind of like last resort. Let me call Landra because she can give me some advice. And the reason why that is because that's also somebody I look at as a parental figure. So I
Hmm.
feel like my perception of her, it doesn't make it as easy to just talk about anything. Like
Oh yeah,
I don't be talking about the ups and downs of my relationship, but if it's at the brink, I'll probably call her or like, I haven't even
right,
talked about this breakup because I'm like,
mm,
I just don't want I don't be liking for them to worry about me because everybody
right.
kind of for me plays a different role. Like my
Hmm.
parents, I won't tell them I'm going through nothing. I'll just call and literally I can just talk to them and it'll just my whole day would just change. Like if I'm having a bad
Hmm.
day, me and my mama was just on the phone the other day talking about housewives and this show called The Traders, and that just made my whole day. Like I
Hmm.
call them for cooking advice or whatever, and I'd be good. So Landra
Hmm.
too. Like me and Landra just talk about anything, and I won't even tell her anything is going on. But they don't even know that sometimes that got me through the day. So yeah, it's definitely different.
And that's you know what? That's actually great. You recognize that because I think my mom and my dad. Matter of fact, before my mom and my dad, I would say Kiana, Wanio's fiance, does
Hmm.
that for me more than anybody. Cause she gonna call me every day anyway. But sometimes just listening to them talk about stuff and things they got going on, and then my niece is my world.
Yeah.
You don't realize how much you need that, and it don't even have to be a conversation about what you're going through, but it helps you get through what you're going through, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't even call you to tell you what was going on, but you just took my mind off of it. You made me feel at ease. It's just a comfort thing. And when you
Yeah.
have that, I think that is so special where you can just call somebody and feel better. Like
Hmm.
when I was going through so much, when I would go around my mom, I would feel so much better. That's why it
Yeah.
was okay for me to move out of my apartment and go live with her because when I tell you she cooks. Londa is like she's just such a nurturing, calming spirit, and you don't
Yeah.
get that from everybody. And I don't even know if it's all parents are like that, but mine's in particular, she gives me all of that, and so I can definitely relate to having that. And I think they would worry about you if they found stuff out. That's why I don't
Hmm.
say shit. Y'all will find out when y'all know. Look that.
That's
Because I
yeah.
know
I'm
it's
already
like hard not to worry about your kid. You still a
exactly,
kid.
and I'm already out here by myself, so.
Right, right.
Yeah, I be keeping stuff in, but yeah, I hope that if anything, they know that that level of comfort is like a high value in itself. Like I don't have to
Right.
confide in y'all about everything. I don't have to call y'all every day about everything, but just knowing that I don't even have to talk about what I'm going through and I can just feel at ease just talking to you. That is, yeah, nothing like it.
Um, and just for the record, I think they're extremely proud of you when they're talking about you at Terry House. I be knowing stuff already, and when they
Mm.
say it, they be so excited and I be saying to myself, I knew that like 2 weeks ago, but he y'all believe that he did that shit? Like, look at him. Aren't y'all? So, like, it's definitely good conversations. I think they're proud of you. I think more so than ever, just based off like talking to your mom, and I think she's proud that you figured out who you are and who you want to be.
Mhm.
And as a parent, they may not agree with everything we do, but they're still going to be proud that you figured it out for yourself and you're walking in your own identity. You're figuring things out. So I think just based off how they talk about you when you're not around, I think they're extremely proud of you and they have something to brag about. Oh, my son in Houston, he worked for that. He do all this, blah, blah, blah. That shit is good. It's like bragging with their messy ass. Like, damn, relax. I know I'm all that, but chill, dog.
Yeah, I've never heard it. Like, well, not in a long time because I'm used to the USC brags and
Yeah,
the graduate. Like first, it was going there or got in. I'm
yeah.
going there, graduated, so I'm used to all of that. So I've been
That's
gone
gonna
for a while.
always be a brag. How many people can say they graduated from, let alone college? But USC, LeBron's son ain't even graduated yet. Look at that. Shout out to Ronnie.
Oh my god.
But so I'm gonna ask you one last thing,
Okay.
and it's not even one last thing. It's what would 30-year-old Mark tell 22-year-old Mark?
Trying to think back to 22. That was 8 years ago. So that would be me trying to do this math, like 2016. Okay, oh, that was me finishing school. Okay. Thinking back to that person, I would tell them to relax. Like, keep keep the faith. Like, you know me, I'm not the most religious person. Like, I don't go to
Mm-hmm.
church or anything like that, but I am a believer and I'm a pretty spiritual person and I pray. And I do that now more than ever because I literally just be wanting some guidance and some peace. That's usually what I pay for. Pray for it. Exactly. So I would literally tell that person to relax. Like, it's gonna work out, and it's some stuff is gonna happen along the way, but just keep going, keep moving, and yeah, that's really what I would say. It's just kind of keep the faith because I think the older I've gotten, I've learned that one, life is always gonna life, and you can get older, but there's always gonna be new challenges, and all you can do is apply what you've done in the past to get past those challenges, into your new challenges. So that's how I keep myself going because I'm like, I'll say right now, I'm going through a breakup, and I'm like, okay, you were in an almost 5 year relationship, engaged, you got through, that heartbreak. You can get through this. Like, I've lost jobs before, things, just a lot of things have happened where I'm like, I can apply that energy and the peace and knowing I got past that into today's situation. So I remember being 22 and being afraid that I wasn't going to graduate because I had one more semester and I had this one class that I didn't think I was going to pass. So the stress level and anxiety that I would be able to save myself would be beautiful.
I don't even know what to say after that. Now that's socially speaking with Dominique right there. That was awesome. I think we should have to do another episode with you.
Yeah, we could definitely do it because we could probably. This was like honestly, somewhat like a catch up, but also
Yeah,
for me, like coming to the end of it, it feels a little therapeutic. But yeah, we could definitely do one where if there's anything you specifically want to talk about, because it's a lot of smart thoughts swirling around
mm.
here.
And it won't be no war shit that they. Oh,
Oh, I don't want to hear nothing about if it's a fire, who you saving. I don't want to hear
right.
if he got a job, blah blah blah. You gonna stay home? Please save it.
Wait, save the drama for your mama. But yeah, this was I think this is probably gonna be my best episode. I always say that. But I appreciate the time, the energy, the love, the dedication to figuring. And shout out to Freddie. Is it Freddie?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Freddie here.
Shut
That
up.
motherfucker got the lights over there, y'all. But thank you. I love you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. You're running, no liquor. I can see your face look all clear, and you ain't got no
Thank you.
plenty on or nothing. So my excuse,
Mm-mm.
I got a little plenty. But I just want you to keep doing what you're doing. We are all so proud of you. If you ever get an opportunity to move back to LA, we would love to have you back. But if not, keep doing your shit out there. Find your tribe and just be happy. That's
Thank
pretty
you.
much all I got. And rock that salt and pepper. I'm telling you, people like it. I don't know about your community, but yeah, I
I
told you, Mr.
mean,
Watts from Golfers had the shit, and I was already pregnant.
oh my God.
That's what I need to tell you about. Like our next episode, talk about how I want to have a baby. I want to be
Okay.
pregnant by this year. So I'll go
Okay.
deeper into that. Like I do. I want to sit on something and get a kid.
Lord Jesus, I'm glad those are not concerns I have. Um, but no, thank you for having me. I need you to make your way out here because I feel like you are one of the few people that have not come out here yet. I need you to
I
come
have
out
not
here.
been to Houston. I think I would have to get. I have to go to Vegas next week, and then two
Mm,
weeks after that, Lexi competition, and then Landry's birthday. I'm gonna figure it out. So I'm
yeah, I
running the
need you out here.
marathon in March. So I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna get out
Okay.
there.
Well,
Why when
like
y'all
I
got that
said,
20-degree weather? Fuck that.
oh yeah, please wait. Well, it was literally just 60. It's been doing this.
Oh,
But yeah, let's come when it's a little more consistent. You don't want to come when the summer really, really hit though, because
I'll come when
Jesus.
you're moved. How about
Okay.
that?
That will be around your birthday, actually. That's the funny part. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you
but
tell
like
me
I
get you
said,
situated in the spot.
I am a fan of the podcast. This
Thank
was
you so
kind of
much.
what popped the podcast cherry. So I'm
Oh,
honored to be here. I'm honored to be able to
thank
talk to
you.
you and that you thought of me, especially be the first. So, I want to say thank you.
And I'm so happy you were. I I don't even know if I can have another guest. Who's gonna follow this up?
Nobody.
And we didn't even
They
go
can
deep.
they can try.
Good luck. Only one that could probably come on here, some people that's gonna get us canceled, and we can't do that.
If you want them ratings.
But yeah, that's all pretty much I have for you. Like I said, I love you, and I'm about to save this and look at it, and we'll be posting it. Maybe I'll go live on Tuesday. I'll let you know before I go and put it
Okay.
up and show, and you let me know your thoughts on it. But I appreciate you.
Thank you. I love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.